James Loughlin, welcome to my podcast.
Dom, I'm so glad to be here. I was actually on the way over in the cab this morning, and I was thinking, I'm a bit nervous. Why? Because I'm usually sitting in a different seat. I'm sometimes, the host, and it's different to be the guest. So I look up to you. I've got deep respect for you. I think you're the leader in broadcasting and podcasting. So it's an honour to sit beside you, mate.
Well, likewise, mate. I really appreciate it. You've got a new book coming out called Habits of High Performers, which is... I understand it's not the sort of book that everyone would be into, but it's my sort of book. Like if I'm in Paper Plus and I see a book like this, it's a book that I'm going to flick through and probably buy. So you sent me like a PDF copy of it because the actual book is not out yet. By the time this podcast comes out, it will be out. Yeah. And I'm a slow reader, so I haven't read the entire thing. But I skimmed through it and it looks incredible. It looks amazing.
Thank you.
So in this book, by the way, we'll get into this and then we'll loop back around and we'll get the whole James Loughlin story. So there's 7 truths of high performance, and in those 7 truths, 27 principles. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
little micro principles. I think that often when we learning in big chunks is difficult. So I like to break it down into what are the micro principles. So there's 7 key habits there of high performers, and then there's little principles. And I almost look at that like a daily. You learn something a day. So it might take you a month to read the book, 1 a day, and you're pretty much through it.
Yeah. So let's run through these. Number 1 of the 7 truths, get radically clear. What does that mean in a nutshell?
Look, when I ask people what do they want, they usually start with, what do you want out of life? What do you want out of your work? What do you want to be as a parent, as a partner? When people start with they have no idea. They have no clue. So it's about getting radically clear. The people that I work with that are the best in the business, they can say it's on the tip of their tongue. So getting radically clear on what success looks like to you, not to social media, not to your next door neighbour, not to your mum, but to you. And so taking the time to get clear on what you want.
What percentage of people don't know?
Oh, I would say like 90+% of people.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if anyone doesn't know, they shouldn't feel bad about it.
No, like join the club.
Yeah.
Like for about 90% of my life, I had no clue what I wanted. And it takes time to sit down and get out of your head and onto the page. Because most of us are stuck in our heads and going around in circles and chasing things and keeping up with the Joneses. So I think slow down, take a breath, and just get clear on what success looks like.
And you got to think big, but I suppose not unreasonably big. Like, for example, I can't be the All Black captain now, probably.
Give it a crack. I'd love to see it, mate. I'd love to see that.
Number 2 on these 7 truths, supercharge your belief systems.
Yep. So, Dom, you're full of BS. Belief systems. We've all got it. Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Don't be kind to me. Just say what you think. What's the first thing that comes to mind when you think of an Irishman?
No, I can't say it.
Come on.
Alcoholic.
Bang on. Brilliant. Any other things come to mind?
Oh, just fun. Fun people. They love to fight.
Yeah, fiddly-dee potatoes.
Yeah.
Right,
this is terrible. I'm going to edit this out.
No, keep it in. These are the things I would call your BS. They're your belief systems. Look, we've got those sitting at our subconscious minds about work, about our strength, about our fitness, about our finances. We've got those beliefs. If someone was to say Loughlin, people have BS belief systems about leaders, about money. I don't know what you think about money, but I believed growing up in a working class town in Northern Ireland that money doesn't grow on trees. Now, that did not help me. That did not serve me at all. So BS is something that high performers are very clear on. What beliefs do they need to have to achieve what they want? So, seeing is believing, and achieving begins with believing. You've got to work on these things internally before you start taking action.
It's funny that you should use the line "money doesn't grow on trees" because that was like a mantra in our household as well. Whenever we ask for money, and it's you look back now and it definitely creates a scarcity mindset, doesn't it?
It really does. And I was working in a hotel. It was my first job, a bistro waiter in the mornings, and minimum wage, and I'd always managed to spend the money each week. I had no money left over. Lots of week left over at the end of the money. And I was going, okay, what do we do? And so I actually read a book. It was called The 1 Minute Millionaire. And I felt a bit weird reading it. I felt a bit guilty. I was like, well, I shouldn't be reading this. We're not millionaires around here. But it shifted my thinking. And just one book was enough to reshift my belief system majorly at 18, 19. And so everyone listening, go and get that book.
Yeah. Well, get habits of high performers first. And then number 3 in the 7 truths of high performers, lead your life on purpose.
Look, purpose is this word that I think it's been used a lot. And it's losing what it's all about in terms of its substance. So when you look at purpose, people who have purpose get out of bed easier in the morning. People who have purpose live longer. Their health span and their lifespan increases. They do better work. They connect better with others. They have more fulfillment. They, on average, have less substance abuse, less alcoholics, less drug addicts when there's purpose involved. So I'm deep on purpose. I spend a lot of time thinking about what's mine. What is it today? Because all of us, Dom, have a purpose every single day. It could be to get up and feed the dog. It doesn't need to be this massive change the world thing. And for a long time in my 20s and early 30s, that's what it was. Like, how do I change the world? What's my big thing? How do I do what Mandela did? I'm never going to do that. But I can do a little bit. And so high performers get clear on, why am I doing this? Why am I in the All Blacks? Why am I pushing myself to go to the Olympics? And when they get clear on that, like they get clear on their why, the how is easy. So lead your life on purpose. I think it's something we should all focus on.
The next one, multiply your motivation.
So some will come and say, hey, Dom, just don't talk to me. Don't talk to me until I've had my coffee. Like, I need a coffee, like, in the mornings. Is that you, Dom?
Yeah, it is. It is. Oh, no, actually, no, it's not, to be fair. I like the taste, but I don't think caffeine does anything tangible to me.
There we go. That's what I say to people. Don't give up your coffee. Drink coffee because you love it. And the smell, like the old Nespresso machine, I love that smell, right? But I don't need caffeine. High performers don't need motivation externally. They don't need the prizes. They don't need the big awards. You know, Scotty Scheffler recently said, like, this is not about the winning. I don't care if I win another one. It's not what it's about. It's the process. It's the commitment. It's the discipline. So intrinsic motivation is is more important than extrinsic. You know, when you walk through the airport here in New Zealand, and you might see someone with a backpack, and on the backpack they've got their Koru, what's it called? Gold Elite status.
The tag, yeah.
Yeah, the little tag. That doesn't need to be on that bag. They don't need that to get through anything. But what they're telling people is, I've got a bit of status. And that doesn't make it right, doesn't make it wrong, doesn't make it good or bad. It just is. But for that person, they've got quite a bit of extrinsic motivation around status.
I'm pretty sure I've still got that tag on my bag, even though I've been downgraded to silver this year.
I don't believe that, Dom.
What a loser.
Lifetime Gold Elite right there.
Next one. Oh, this is really boring. Do the work. Yeah.
Do the work is boring. I think about doing the work as, you know, you've got to discipline your inner domain to dominate the outer domain. So if you want to become the next big CEO, if you want to get that big increase in your salary, if you want to become the best podcaster in New Zealand, you've got to work on yourself and do the work and not tell people about it. This whole thing of, you know, there's an amazing guy in the US who, 4 a.m., he takes a photo of his watch, puts it up. I don't believe in that. Just do the work in the dark and then shine in the light. So whatever you're working on, just do it. Do it for yourself. Work on it. You don't need to tell everybody about everything. So do the work. Get on with it. You know, don't be a talker. Be a walker.
Yeah, one thing I've found from doing my podcast and speaking to a lot of high achievers and very successful people, hard work is the only cheat code there is. That's probably the one thing they all have in common.
I agree. Life rewards effort, right?
Yeah.
You're no different. How many years have you been in broadcasting and podcasting?
Oh, like 30-something years. Yeah.
You're not an overnight success. You worked your butt off. And now you're at the top of the game and everyone's looking to Dom going, how do we do that?
Yeah.
You just work really hard for a really long time.
And still learning. I think that's the key, eh?
Yeah, 100%.
Next one, number 6 in the 7 Truths of High Performers from your book, Habits of High Performers. Focus on your priorities.
Dom, how many times do you hear people say, I'm just so busy. I'm so busy right now. Often, right? So I had a client come to me, been working with him for a while. James, I'm just so busy. That's why I'm not getting the results in the business. I was like, give me your phone. And he kind of goes, what do you mean? I said, give me your phone. So let's get the screen time up. So we get the screen time. He's looking a bit nervous at this stage, Dom. And we go through and I said, okay, so, mate, how many clients did you get on Facebook? He went, none. I was like, ever? No clients ever? No. Why did you spend 7 hours and 51 minutes this week on Facebook? Face goes red. I was like, okay, TikTok. How many clients did you get on there? James, I'm in financial services. None. I was like, well, you spent 7 hours and 13 minutes on there. So people who are high performers focus on their priorities. They're not busy. They're busy being productive and getting clear on what they don't do, what they won't touch. Their morning routines are solid. You know, I look at your morning routine. I see you up, you're running. I looked at your Strava. You're consistently committed to it. High performers focus on what matters most.
Do you have a strict morning routine?
I have a morning routine that just gets me going.
Yeah. What is it? What is the optimum routine for you?
Yeah, so I read a book. I'm a big reader. I love reading it, called The 5 a.m. Club.
Oh, Robin Sharma.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Who also wrote a little, is it a review for your book?
he did.
A
He
little
wrote an
comment at the
endorsement.
beginning. Yeah, I was going to ask how you got Robin Sharma over the line.
Robin's a good mate. Yeah,
Wow.
he's an incredible guy. I met up with him actually 2 weeks ago in Cape Town just to talk about life and writing and leadership and the things that him and I geek out on. But he wrote that 5 a.m. club, and it really got me thinking about how important the morning is. So for me, it's between 5 and 5:20. I'll get up. First thing I'll do is I'll not get up. I'll turn the light on. I'll grab my journal, and I'll start writing what I'm grateful for. So this morning in the hotel, I'm grateful for Dom Harvey, for hosting me, for having me on the show. I'm grateful for Finn, grateful for Caroline, the simple things that you're truly grateful for. I'll then focus on what's most important for the day. I'll get up, I'll stretch, I'll drink a lot of water with lemon, alkalize the body. Then I'll meditate for about 15, 20 minutes. And then if I've got time, I'll do a little yoga session or a resistance training in the morning. And then it's straight into it. So it doesn't take long, maybe 40, 50 minutes. But when I don't do that, because I'm very imperfect, I feel different. I don't feel energized. The day goes a bit sluggish. So morning routines are important. What about yours?
Is that a Monday to Friday for you? Or is
No,
that...
it's even on the weekend, I don't believe in sleep-ins. You know, I just, routine is everything. And when you look at the biology, having a sleep-in screws you up. Like, keep to the routine. So even on the weekend, I'm up bright and early. I've got dogs, so they're and a cat, so they're at the door, like, feed us. Let's go for a walk. I've got no excuses to get to sleep in, mate.
You asked what about mine? I love sleeping in. I love like waking up fresh and then rolling over and sleeping in, especially when it's raining outside like it is now. But I find the busier I get. Like in the past year, I've set up this business called PodLab, where this is the studio we're sitting in now. So I do my podcast here. We help make podcasts for other people. In order to get everything done that I want to get done, professionally and personally, I just need to get up earlier. So
It's non-negotiable.
yeah, and well, it makes sense. If you get up at 5 a.m. like you're doing, you get a jump on the day. You have a couple of hours ahead of everyone else. Compounding time, that's 5 hours a week, 20 hours a month.
You get months and years back of your life. And I go to bed early. You know, so I'm in bed 8:45, maybe 15:15 at latest, reading, journaling, meditating. So I bookend the day with the same boring stuff. And when people look at high performers, it's, you know, when I sit down with some of the great guests you've sat down with, their routines are boring as hell. But that's what creates results.
And we're going through the 7 truths in your book. Was that one just do the work? Was that focus on your priorities?
Yeah, so focus on your priorities, yeah.
Okay, and last one, take no shortcuts.
Yes. So delayed gratification is the key. We were just chatting with one of your incredible colleagues about his generation, Gen Z, and I've got, a Gen A child. So delayed gratification is something they're going to have to embrace. Why? They're in a world that moves fast. They're in a world that you can download anything and everything. You can watch TikTok, things that will teach you how to do anything. That's not where great success is found. It's found in going slow. It's found in taking those shortcuts. Reverse engineering success. Get clear on what you really want. That was the very first one. And then reverse engineer it. Anything I bet you've ever done, you've gone, I want to go to that marathon. Okay, it's on this date. I'm going to run with Kipchoge. And I've got to reverse engineer and go, tomorrow we'll do 3Ks, then 5, then 10. Everything is the same. There's no shortcuts to success. I'm yet to see it.
Yeah, I think that's one thing I love about the discipline of marathon running. I get people asking me all the time, like, how to do it and, what's the longest run they should do. And I'm like, you can get by on minimal training, but it's going to be a horrible, horrible day. If you want to half enjoy the day, you want to sort of train relatively properly.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, everything's instant. How old are you?
I'm 39, almost 40. Old man, according to my child.
I'm 52, so I remember a life without...
You're looking damn good, mate.
I remember a life with pre-internet. Everything's at your fingertips now, that instant gratification pace. There's very little things in life now that involve delayed gratification.
But the best, like you look at Arthur C. Brooks, and he wrote an amazing book called Build the Life You Want. Him and Oprah Winfrey co-authored it. And he said, we all want happiness. Doesn't matter who we are, we actually all want to feel happy. He said, in my research, there's 3 things that help us be happy. 1, the pursuit of enjoyment. So doing fun things, having hobbies, hanging out, have the beer with your best mate, whatever it might be. The pursuit of satisfaction. And we only get satisfaction when we do hard things. So take the stairs. Got the elevator? Nice. But when you go 12 floors up and walk out the elevator, there's no sense of satisfaction. But you do the 12 flights of stairs, you're tired, you're sweating, and you feel satisfied. The last but not least, in the pursuit of meaning or purpose. So those 3 things, if we're doing one of those 3 things, he says we feel happy when we're doing it. So always take the stairs. Don't take shortcuts.
I love that. I am a stair climber.
There you go. I can
Always.
see that. You look great, you know?
My girlfriend hates it. Like if we're at the event cinema, there's stairs in the middle and then there's escalators going up and down. She'll always take the escalator and I'll take the stairs. I've noticed my mum does it as well, actually. She's in her 70s.
And has she got good mobility?
Yeah, she still runs. Yeah.
Doesn't surprise me. I mean, always take the stairs. It will give you a longer life. Chat with a lot of longevity experts. I want to be here for as long as I can. And, movement, walking, strength training where you can, yoga, but just move your body. We sit a lot. You and I will be sitting here for an hour at least. So after this, I want to go move my body.
Yeah, 100%. So, hey, thanks for sharing those. So that's the 7 Truths of High Performers from your new book, Habits of High Performers.
Thank you.
That's great. If anyone wants further detail and drill down on all of them, just buy the fucking book. It's great. Yeah, what does high performance actually mean to you, and how is it different from being successful?
Ooh, great question. So when I look at high performance, I need to be able to define that. So I work with people, whether they're corporates or athletes. How do we define high performance? Well, for me, it's easy. Consistently exceeding norms whilst maintaining healthy relationships and well-being. That last part of it, I didn't care about it in the first. Like when I was going towards trying to win world championships, all I wanted to do was win. I didn't give a damn about my health, and my relationships were definitely second. And so I was winning world championships, but my relationships were doing this, and my marriage ended in divorce. So that's not high performance. That's winning in one part of your life.
Because you sort of had a one-track mind.
100%. Radical obsession is what I would call it. I wanted to win the world. I wanted to win the world. And I would work harder than anyone. I'd go into the dark, do the work, tell nobody, practice. And they came at a cost. So that's what I would say high performance is, being able to achieve your goals whilst maintaining not perfect, but healthy relationships and well-being. They're going to be tough times, they're going to be crap times, but get them back to being healthy again. So that's high performance. And I guess success is very contextual. Everyone's got their own definition of that. I think spending less time on TikTok and Instagram is good. I look at that and I'm like, God, I don't have Dom's followers. Like, that doesn't make me feel great. But then I go, well, Dom's running, that's inspiring. I'll look at that stuff. That's awesome.
Because there's a lot of people like listening to this or watching this that might be successful in their eyes or other people's eyes. And they're probably like, well, I'm not getting up at 5 a.m. and drinking lemon water. Yeah.
And neither should they. They should define it for themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a big believer in prescribing people, and I'd rather have followers than disciples. Like I want people to make up their own mind of what great looks like to them. That's what's most important.
Yeah, 100%. I love that. Hey, so let's go back and we'll learn learn a little bit more about you and your backstory, and how you ended up in this career path, and then we'll go back to some tips that everyone else can use. So you're from Northern Ireland.
Yes. Have you been?
No, I've never been to Ireland or Scotland.
Right, we got
I'd love to go. Love to go.
Dom, we got to get you across there. It's gorgeous.
I love the Irish people.
Yeah, well, I think Irish people are very similar to Kiwis. I think the number one trait, when I look at my family, particularly my father and my grandfather, humility is the most important component of being from Northern Ireland. And New Zealand is no different. Humility is really rated in this country. So I love that. Growing up in Northern Ireland, I was very aware there was a conflict. There was a divide between Protestants and Catholics. Very, very clear. Some towns had the British flag flying. They were Protestant towns. And the others had the Irish flag flying. They were Catholic towns. And most people would stay in their own towns. But it would flare up. There'd be violence. There'd be kneecappings. There'd be bombs, petrol bombs, bomb scares at your supermarket. It was a very interesting childhood. And I wanted to get out from a very young age. And I love my family and I miss them. But I wanted to get out. I wanted to travel. And I was a little shit at primary school. And thank God for my headmaster who just turned 80 recently, Mr. Pollock. He said, boy, enough's enough. You've got 2 options. A week of detention for what you've done, or a set of drumsticks. And he throws these drumsticks at me. And I go, what's the catch, Mr. Pollock? He went, no catch, just a whole term of drum lessons. I'll pay for them. Okay, cool. In my mind, I was going to be Ringo Starr, a famous rock drummer. I was going to get out of Northern Ireland. I moved to LA. Awesome. 10 weeks passed, Dom, and he comes out marching into assembly. There's 500 or 600 of us in a skirt. I'm like, what the hell's my headmaster doing in a skirt? This is strange. Playing the bagpipes. And this is even stranger. Puts the pipes down. He talks about the tartan kilt. And he says, where's James Laughlin? I reluctantly put my hand up. He says, stand up. He says, folks, this is the newest recruit for the pipe band. So Dom, always read the fine print, my man. I didn't ask enough questions. Ringo Starr and now wearing a skirt. Not so cool at 9 years of age. But he took me aside. He says, sorry, I didn't give you all the details, but this is a competitive sport and you can be judged and you can go to championships. And I'm quite competitive. So I was into that. So very fortunate. My dad took me along to a bunch of competitions, my mum and dad. I went to the World Solo Drumming Championships and played in the quarterfinals. I played in the semi-finals and then go into the finals. And as I'm about to go on, my dad says, look, keep your feet on the ground, mate. Don't set yourself up for failure. Just do your best. You might not win this. And I'm thinking, if I go in thinking like that, I've lost already. And what he didn't know is I'd stolen my cousin's cassette tapes of Tony Robbins. So I was listening to these mindset things, and you have to believe in yourself.
What age?
I stole those at about 11.
That's interesting, isn't it?
I got nervous. I think nerves were a big part. And I still experience nerves. And so I wanted to...
No, but I mean, that's interesting that you'd be attracted to... self-work, self-motivation, cassette tapes at the age of 11.
Yeah, and I bought the Inner Game of, it was called the Inner Game of Music, but Timothy Galway also wrote the Inner Game of Tennis, Inner Game of Golf, all about mindset. I wanted more than anything. I was radically clear. I want to win the World Championships. If I'm going to do this, I want to be the best at it. And I just looked for anything and everything to help me. And I knew that my mindset wasn't strong. I knew that I was nervous and I would break down and I'd get sweaty hands. And so, I just started looking for options and found this big cassette tape collection. Started geeking out on it. And at 13, I was fortunate to win the World Solo Juvenile Championships again the following year. That's where things got exciting. I got a call from Christchurch, New Zealand. I had no idea where New Zealand was. I put the hand over the phone, Dad, where's New Zealand? I had no idea. Do they speak English there? Where is it? And so they, had an opportunity to come down here, and I guess that's the next part of the journey.
One question I've got stuck in the back of my mind is, so when you were attracted to drumming, why Ringo Starr and not, say, Larry Mullen Jr.?
I just thought Ringo was a legend. I think I want to be like that guy.
Yeah.
He drives nice cars and he's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's true. So, what does it mean how do you become the world's best drummer in a Scottish pipe band?
Yeah, there's two types. Two approaches. One's a solo champion, so by yourself, and then one's a drum corps, so it's like a drum line, like American's high school drum line type thing. So you can win one or both of those. You're adjudicated a bit like figure skating, where you'll get up and perform. The accompanist will be a bagpiper, and it's very intricate, very detailed. So like Phil Collins, for example, would come to pipe band drummers and learn how to become a better technician. And of course, he's one of the world's greatest drummers, but he knows that pipe band drumming is very technical. So a lot of repetition, a lot of practice on the basics. So you get up, you perform. It's anywhere between 4 and 8 minutes, and you'd have several thousand moves and dynamic articulations. With a slight bit of sweat or a bit of nerves, that turns to mush pretty quick. And so you're adjudicated with a panel of judges, and away you go. You either come first or not so much. So I lost a lot more than I won, I'll tell you that, Dom.
Oh, like all champions. It's like any sport. If you look at the NBA top scoring list, there's the names that you'd suspect up there. There's Kobe, LeBron, MJ, but they're also on the list of the NBA players that have taken the most shots and lost as well.
Yeah, 100%. You've got to be in it to win it.
So being the best in the world in anything it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was when I was 13 and I won it. I thought it was pretty awesome. It was a bit of a life-changing moment to go, okay, I can pick something. I can stick to it. I can really practice hard and take a bit of time and get an outcome that's positive. So from that point onwards, it really changed the direction of my ambitions and my life. I was lucky.
Yeah, what did drumming save you from?
Well, a couple of friends, lads in my town, I went through primary school with, by their late teens, they're in wheelchairs. So back in Northern Ireland, if young men misbehaved, and the paramilitaries caught onto it and weren't happy with it, they would kneecap them. So they'd take them to an industrial estate, shotgun, remove both knees. And so this had happened to a number of young men in my small town, and it happened all over Northern Ireland. And I wanted to just get away from all that. And there are many family members I've got that are living a lovely, peaceful life there. But certainly, I was at the pub a lot. I was drinking a hell of a lot in my late teens. Mum and Dad had just divorced. I used it as an excuse to hang out with my uncle and drink way too much beer on a Saturday. And I wasn't hanging out with a great crowd for the most part. And so my pathway was not looking pretty. New Zealand and Canada. Both were things that helped shape my direction.
Did you Google how often does kneecapping happen in New Zealand?
I might do that now. No, I figured New Zealand looks pretty peaceful. I hadn't watched, until I'd been here for a year, I hadn't watched Once We're Warriors. And then I watched that going, oh Christ. There is that happens here in New Zealand in a different way. But every country has its challenges, right?
So how old were you when you moved to Christchurch?
I was 19. So yeah, I'd moved to Canada initially to Simon Fraser University in Vancouver, had a pipe band of all things. They were the world's best. So I got to go there for a summer. Then a call from Christchurch and an invitation to come down and work with a couple of bands. One in particular wanted to win the World Championships and be the first ever from New Zealand. So I was pretty interested in that. And it was 12,000 miles from Northern Ireland, so I thought this would be a good chance to live away from home.
Well, why not Scotland? Why didn't you end up in Scotland?
Yeah,
surely that's the hub of pipe bands.
Interestingly, I had two options. So two invitations. One was Simon Fraser University, Canada. The other was Field Marshal Montgomery in Lisburn, just outside Belfast, Northern Ireland. So 25-minute drive was the world's best band. And then Vancouver, Canada was the other best band. So I decided to get out, travel. Scotland's still too close to home for me. So I went to Canada, got a taste for the Commonwealth, got a taste for living a different life. And so I just thought New Zealand looked like an awesome option.
So what year was that you moved here?
2005. So it's 20 years now.
Oh, so you moved to New Zealand. So who do you know here?
So when I moved, I didn't really know anyone. I had a distant cousin who had moved here, but he was 20 years my senior and doing his own thing. I moved to Christchurch and it was the pipe band community. It was the amazing pipe band community, Canterbury Caledonians, St Andrews College. They took me in, they adopted me, and I was able to stay with people. They put me up. I was very fortunate. So it was like I arrived and had a massive community. And Kiwis are like that. Come on, stay with me and we'll hook you up and we'll take you for a beer. And, you know, I felt right at home. I didn't feel any homesickness at all. I never have.
You found your tribe.
100%.
Yeah.
Kiwi tribe.
Yeah. Oh, that's really cool. What about transferable skills? How did the discipline of competitive pipe band drumming shape your leadership approach?
Oh my God. So interesting. I had such self-doubt. I'm sure there's listeners and viewers with the same thing. You've been in a career for X amount of years and you go, what else can I do? Can I do anything else? Would I be appealing? So I got to like 30 and realised, if I break an arm, like my drumming career's over. So I was James who played.
You could join Def Leppard.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, the one-armed drummer. I like that. Hey, move over, mate. I like it. But I got worried. Just became a dad at 30 and thought, well, my number one thing is I got to provide certainty, got to put food on the table. So I went to Otago, Polytech, and they have this thing called a Bachelor of Applied Management. And it allows you to look back over your life and get a degree in your chosen field. So for me, it was management and leadership, project management. And I was able to unpack the little retail business I had built, the individuals and the bands that had helped go from where they were here to winning the World Championships. And so it allowed me to see there's a lot of transferable skills, discipline, focus, setting clear goals, reverse engineering success, teamwork, camaraderie, building culture. If you don't have those things, you're not getting the results. So yeah, I learned those the hard way over many years.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that because I've found that with people that have come on my podcast as well. If someone's good at one thing, it's not a fluke. And they're generally going to be good at something else because they've got the tools in the toolbox.
Success leaves clues, right?
Yeah, 100%.
When you're looking at for yourself, with running, you look at a great runner, a running coach, they're able to apply those lessons often in other parts of their lives as well. Kipchoge, I would say, probably has a pretty successful life. Sam Whitelock, I know intimately, very successful life, great family. His kids love him, his wife loves him, his greater family deeply respect him. Yet he's able to get up, do the bizzo, and perform at the very highest levels. So I think people who know what the success formula is apply it across all areas of their life.
Yeah, Sam Whitelock, the most capped All Black of all times, I think.
153 caps, yeah.
Yeah. Is he a friend or a client, or was he a client that became a friend? How do you know him intimately?
A bit of both. So Chalky Carr introduced us. Chalky's an incredible human who sadly passed away too young, pancreatic cancer. So he was a logistics manager in the All Blacks. And Sam was a new dad. I was a new dad. So Freddie and my Finn are very similar age. He said, I'll introduce you to Sam. You're doing a lot of thinking about being a new dad. And so I met Sam, got to know him, and then he joined my mastermind, which is like a round table of leaders from different industries for 4 months. So he'd turn up every couple of weeks and we'd chat and share and challenge each other. And after that, I became a friend, and I deeply respect Sam. Yeah. Have you had him on the show?
No, I'd love him on the show though.
Let's make that happen.
Yeah.
We've got to get Sam Whitelock on the show.
Okay. I mean, yeah, you pick the brains of someone like him with all he's been through, and he's just a well of knowledge, isn't he?
Oh, he is, and a well of humility.
Yeah.
You know, with what he's done and what he's won, you would never know it.
So low key.
Yeah, and that's why we respect people like that.
Yeah. Would he even want to do something like a podcast? Or is he like a McCaw where just rather not? Rather do anything than talk about himself?
He doesn't like talking about himself, that's for sure. But Sam would. It'll take a bit of time. So it took me about 3 years to finally get him on my pod. But I'm sure we could work on him.
That's good. I've got a number of guests like that too that I've played the long game with.
Good. Always play the long game, man.
Yeah. So what was the retail business you had when you... Yeah, because obviously... playing the drums in a pipe band, even at the highest level, is not going to pay the bills and put food on the table, is it?
No.
So what are you doing? What was your business?
They're selling drums. So all over Southeast Asia, Australasia, selling drums, drumsticks, drum heads, drum accessories. So I thought, how can I build a business out of this passion of mine? So that was a big focus for many years.
So how long were you in Christchurch before the devastating earthquakes happened? Like 5 years? 6 years?
A little lot, 6 years, yeah.
Fuck, how was that?
Unbelievable. Yeah. The first one, middle of the night, I was like, what the hell is this? And within about 20 seconds of it shaking, I was like, I remember in geography in Northern Ireland talking about earthquakes, and we talked about getting under desks. And so I just got up, and my partner at the time was like, get up, like, let's move to the door frame. And honestly, Dom, it was hell for months, because every single aftershock, of the thousands of aftershocks, I was thinking, is this another big one? And of course, in February, the next big one came. I was teaching at St Andrews at the time in a really old rickety building, which thankfully has now been demolished. And you had a young student there at the time, and they went to run out, and I had to grab them by the leg and literally drag them under the table because the building was horrific. They were running right through the building. So we sat under the table until it stopped, and out we went. And after that, things turned to custard for months, mate, for everyone. Work, home, insurance. I went back to Canada with my partner at the time thinking maybe we should be living in Canada. But going back there and drawing up a pros and cons list, even with the damn earthquakes, wanted to go back to Christchurch. It's just a great city. I'm glad I stayed. I don't know if you've been down recently, but it's looking awesome.
Oh, every time I go down there, something's different. Something's changed. There's still big buildings there that need to be demolished that haven't been demolished, though, eh?
So many of them.
Yeah. It's crazy how long it takes to rebuild after something like that. And how did you find it when all the Irish came over to help with the rebuild? Weren't they spreading STIs everywhere? Or was that just an urban legend?
No, I did see that same news article that those Irishmen were down here doing silly things and getting silly things that they didn't come with. Yes, I did see that. Wasn't proud of that. But I thought it was great. Yeah, a lot more Irish influx. And yeah, actually, weirdly, I found out 2 years ago, I moved to Littleton, and I moved in, and one of my clients emails me going, you need to meet my Northern Irish lawyer. He lives in Littleton. I said, oh, cool. Send us a wee email. Connect us. Emails, and I get the phone number, I ring him up. I says, Gareth Glendinning. He went, yeah. I says, Ballyclare High School? He went, one and only. I went, it's James Laughlin. I said, I just got your number from Brett. I said, you live in Littleton? He went, yeah. So we went to school together. No idea he was in New Zealand. I says, where do you live? He says, on Days Road. I says, so do I. We're one house apart, and we'd never known. And he comes up the road and has a wee boy on his shoulders. I says, who's this wee fella? It's a little son. He says, this is Finn. Same name as my son. So we hadn't seen each other in 20 plus years and never knew where each other went and living one door apart. So I was glad that the Irishman came. He's a lawyer. He's not a builder, but...
Yeah, the Christchurch earthquakes, the mental health impact it had on a lot of residents of the city is just massive. Yeah, how was it for you personally?
It's the first time I ever went and had therapy.
Yeah.
After that, as you say that, I took a big breath. I wasn't diagnosed with PTSD, but certainly the symptoms I was having were PTSD-esque. So very stressed, drinking a shit ton of alcohol, eating crap food, constantly ruminating, worrying. Yeah, I mean, I look at my mindset and all the work that I've done on it, and it's the field that I'm in. And even with all that, like when the earth moves and you don't have that certainty, God, it just shakes you to the core.
Well, you realise how insignificant you are. There's nothing you can do.
Totally.
You're at the mercy of Mother Nature.
Yeah, it's very humbling. Yeah, I hope we've done our dash with that and Christchurch can move on.
Yeah. How was the therapy experience for you?
Interesting. Sometimes I think in my younger years I was a bit skeptical. I didn't want to be labelled. I think that there's a danger when we label people with things and say you've got this or you are this. Sometimes it's more a response. So post-traumatic stress response rather than maybe a disorder. Depends on the individual. So for me, it was liberating. It introduced me to breathwork. So that was 2011. And so I started to dive into breathwork and realized that it's an amazing world. And it helps me with turbulence. I hate turbulence. And I'm sure you're the same, but I fly a lot and it's not fun. So I use that. Being a parent, I get overwhelmed sometimes. Use breathwork.
Yeah, in simple terms, for anyone that's hearing this phrase for the first time now, how do you describe breathwork?
Yeah, so our body gets stressed. Our body responds to things externally. So with the athletes I work with, they are responding to on-field. They are responding to media, social media, and it impacts their nervous system. So essentially, we want to be in a parasympathetic nervous system where we are in a state of relaxation. But often when we're stressed, it's our sympathetic nervous system that fires up. So our breathing becomes shallow. We start to sweat. Heart rate goes up. I experience all of those things, and so do you. We all have both states. But knowing how to trigger them and turn them on or turn them off is key. So with the rugby players, I talk about tap on, tap off. You need to know when to turn it on and when to turn it off. So for me, Dom, if I'm about to go on stage and speak, I will look at my watch and my heart rate will be 110 to 125, just standing still. Like, God, I'm worked up. I'm excited. Like, I don't call it nerves anymore. I call it excitement. And so I go to a toilet, sit down and breathe. And I'll just do extended exhales. So right away, I feel different. That's one breath. Do that for 90 seconds. I'll look down. I'm 90 beats per minute, 80 beats per minute. Heart rate will be starting to go down. And I can think better. I can operate with better decisiveness. So there's lots of different types of breath work. Wim Hof will get you fired up. Box breathing that the Navy SEALs and SAS would use will get you focused. And it's just breathing in for 4 counts, hold for 4, out for 4, hold for 4. And then the one that really gets you to relax is just extending your exhale. Make sure it's longer than your inhale. So I do that a lot on turbulent flights, that's for sure.
That's great. What's your relationship like with nerves? I think nerves are kind of good, eh? They show you care. They can give you an edge.
100%. When you're no longer nervous, it's time to give up. So I experienced that with drumming. It was my passion. It's all I did. I drummed hours a day. I was fortunate to win what I did. But I got to the point where I was just like, we'll be fine. I was bored. And the nerves were no longer there. It's like, we're going to probably win the national championships. And it wasn't this kind of arrogance thing, but internally I was like, we are so well prepared. We've got so much depth. A bit like, Canterbury Rugby. I know some people might not like me saying that, but for years, the depth that's allowed them to do what they do, you have this kind of confidence. But that confidence turned to complacency for me. And I lost my edge. And I no longer wanted to perform. I didn't perform very well. And so it was time to find something that got me nervous. So there's this idea of performing under pressure. I think that's BS. If you're performing under pressure, so let's say Dom Harvey's got pressure, and then we add a bit more, and we add a bit more, eventually Dom's going to implode. The best thing I do with clients is get them to reframe that. Perform with pressure. Not under it, but with it. Bring it alongside. Accept the pressure. Make space for it. Say, hey, welcome. Actually talk to your nerves. Welcome, good to see you. Glad you're here. Take a breath. Let's go. We're going to do this. There's an acceptance and commitment. Accept that you're nervous and then commit to doing your thing anyway. Yeah. It's important.
Oh, thanks for that. And who's your wife? Did you marry a Kiwi?
So actually, I married a Canadian.
Right.
And so we've parted ways since. But my partner is Caroline. She's from South Africa. So yeah, no Kiwi.
Oh, so you're on to marriage number 2?
Yeah, so not married yet, but that could happen in the future.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, spoiler alert.
Yeah, Caroline, if you're listening to this one.
So what happened to the first one?
Dom, I love these direct questions. Give me it.
Yeah. Oh no. Because I'm just thinking there'll be some people listening to this going, well, if you're a high performer and you're focused on success, then how do you cope with a massive perceived or otherwise failure like that?
Yeah, I like it because it is a failure. We can't dance around it. The marriage failed, and I was with a mentor of mine, and he was able to ask me something. It's right around the separation period. He was able to ask me something that nobody else had asked. Best friends, brother, dad, uncle. He said, James, what responsibility do you take? James, what did you learn about yourself? Hey, James, what part did you play in the failure? was like, whoa, bang, bang, bang. He's giving me it. I said, I need to think about that. That's a lot. So I took like a month to reflect. And there's a lot of learnings. Because I was obsessively focused on winning and performing, I wasn't obsessively focused on nurturing relationships, nurturing health. It was way out of whack. And so that separation taught me a lot. There was a lot of introspection. There's a lot of lonely moments. Yeah. I mean, I look back on that and go, that failure is arguably the biggest teacher I've had. Made me get in touch with my values. What do I value? And how important are those values? How do they shape the next step, the next relationship? I'm very thankful for my former wife. We've got a great relationship. We are epic co-parents, and Finn's bonus mum, Caroline, the three of us work so well together. And I'm proud of that. We've always worked well together. We've maintained a great connection. So I think that there's happy even after. You know that whole happily ever after? There's happy even after. Even after a separation, it can be good. And unfortunately, it's not the same for everyone. I get that. So I'm really fortunate that she decided to say, let's stay friends and respect each other. And it's better for Finn, that's for sure.
I love that so much. Actually, a therapist said the same thing to me once. Like in any situation, ask yourself, what was my role in this? And there's a book by Jocko Willink called Extreme Ownership, which is the same sort of thing. It's in any situation, just owning your shit and owning what you can out of it. It's really powerful because it's very easy to blame the other person for everything.
It totally is. And you and I spoke off air beforehand, like the person that you're now separated with, because let's face it, 50% of the people listening are either have been through a separation or will go through it. Statistically, that's what's going to happen. So for you to be able to go, actually, at one point, I loved them. I seen a lot of positive in them. So I have to always remember that and look for the little bit of goodness, because at the end of the day, we are all good inside. And sometimes we get a bit rough and rugged on the outside and get a bit stressed or overwhelmed, but everyone's good inside.
Yeah, it's just about finding that thing. It's fucking tough though, it sucks. And
really does.
You'd be well aware that, you learn more from your failures than your successes, but failure's never fun at the time.
Failure sucks. Falling on your face.
It's never enjoyable.
It's shit.
And even when you're going through it, you can't say, I'm going to learn a lot from this and it's going to be valuable a couple of years from now.
No, when I went through that, I was going, I need to have some more alcohol. I need to get through this. And Dom, it's been 5.5 years, no alcohol. And that's been great. But for me, that was my coping mechanism. So I think I've learned a lot about how I cope. And I coped pretty poorly. And that was not a high performance approach. And I'm learning to do better. And give myself a break and just try to be a bit better each day.
Yeah. Oh, good on you. What was the catalyst for stopping the booze?
Caroline, my amazing partner, she was out for a run. She's a bit like you, loves to run often. And I think she was listening to Rich Roll. And he was talking about 1 year no beer. So she came home, it was during COVID. And she came back in and she said, I think I'm going to do 1 year no alcohol. I laughed. That's good luck with that. That sucks. Like, I'll support you, but I'm not going to be doing that.
I'm Irish.
Yeah, exactly. This is my identity, right? So she says, okay. So that night, we're sitting watching Game of Thrones, and I said, you know what? As I'm drinking my wine, I think I'm going to join you. I'll do 1 year no beer. My justifications and saying I'm Irish, I think that's a problem. So I says, but we've got 2 bottles of red wine and a bottle of gin in the cupboard. We're not wasting those. Let's get those drunk. So for the next 48 hours, those disappeared. And I had a mega hangover. And I sat down, Dom, and I just wrote, why? I've done 30 days, no alcohol. I've done the dry July, no alcohol. But why do I want to do a whole year? And so I wrote a list. I want to be a more present dad. I want to be a more patient partner. I want to be healthier. I'd like to live to 90 and not die of some kind of liver thing. I'd like to be clearer in my thinking. I'd like to be better for my clients. Just wrote out a massive old list. And then one day at a time, stuck at it. And got to year 1, went out for a beautiful dinner with Caroline. So I said, should we order a bottle of Dom or a bottle of Moët? And he goes, yeah, let's have a look. And when the waiter come over, I said, could I have 2 Heineken Zeros, please? Just no desire, lost the appetite for it. And learned how to have fun and socialise and do all those things without it. And honestly, I feel way better for it. Way clearer, happier, more patient. All those things I wanted, I'm finally starting to see.
Well, the life that you're living now, like getting up at 5 a.m., you're not doing that if you're drinking, are you? You just can't. You can't do both.
No.
Something's got to give. Yeah, I was talking to someone about this the other day. Like the 0% beers now are really good. Like Asahi's got a great one. Heineken Zero is amazing.
Garage Project.
Yeah. You if you're going out drinking beers, you might drink 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever. You're never going to go out and drink like 10 Heineken Zeros.
God help you if you do. Yeah, no, I drink one of those bad boys, maybe 1.5, and you're like, I'm done with that. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Well, it's the alcohol, isn't it?
Exactly. It's addictive, right?
Yeah.
It's the dopamine system. That hormone fires up going, I want another one of those. I want another one of those.
Yeah.
I feel good until you don't.
Yeah. Just so we're clear, I'm still a drinker, but I'm constantly reassessing and keeping an eye on my relationship with alcohol. Just that there's things I want to get done, and they can't sort of coexist.
I agree.
So
and I think it's unique for everyone. I don't want to be that preachy guy that goes, you should never drink alcohol. I'm just like, it just doesn't work for me. I have a better relationship without it, but I've also got great friends, family members and clients who have a great relationship and balance it, and it's not negative. So self-control.
So in terms of adversity, so there's the marriage breakup, there's the earthquakes, which you're not alone with. Like thousands of people endured them, and I think the impacts are still being felt to this day,
100%
internally with people. And you've lost a baby as well.
Yes. Yeah, actually, that was before Finn. Miscarriage, and I'd heard the word miscarriage before. And as a man, like we don't talk about miscarriages. Like, why would we do that? But I had a miscarriage pre-Finn, and didn't really appreciate just the impact it had. And I remember calling my boss at the time, and I couldn't even speak. I was just in tears. I couldn't get a word out, and that's very unusual for me. I'm usually pretty calm and collected, but I just couldn't get my head around it, Dom. And still thinking back on that, there's still emotion there. I don't think that emotion will ever leave. And that I'm one of billions of people that have been through this, but yet it's something. It's almost like we're told not to talk about it, or we're not told to not talk about it, but we all don't talk about it because it's like one of those things. It's taboo almost. We need to talk about it because the mental health challenges that comes with that kind of loss and grieving is significant. So I'm really grateful for the people I had around me. I know people that have went through multiple miscarriages, and I can't imagine it. So yeah, I think it's just one of those things we need to talk about. And when Finn came along, I was really grateful. Healthy little man, and now he's a cheeky little boy. I'm very grateful for that. But yeah, that was very tough. Yeah.
What are the biggest lessons from all these adversities?
Well, look, I think first things first, like my challenges and adversity are just mine, and they might be worse than some people's, and they might be not as bad as others. I think we've all got our challenges. We can all look back and go, shit, that was a tough time. Lessons, keep getting back up, keep swinging. Like, if you're not dead, like, try again. My grandfather often says, like, life's not a dress rehearsal. And I'm grateful that he's still around. Get at it, get after it. Like, you can't sit and dwell on things and ruminate. Move on, move forward. So always have something positive to look forward to. I like to always have a holiday on the horizon, or catching up with a friend, or a good book. Always have something positive to get you out of bed and move towards. And realize that failure is not the end. Like we're all screwing up. You and me, we're going to do something stupid today and screw up. We're going to say something stupid, or we're going to do something. That's cool if we're learning. Someone once said to me, James, how much dumb tax do you pay? I was like, what's dumb tax? What the hell? It's when you make a mistake, you don't learn from it, and you make the same mistake again, and you don't learn from it, and so you're the guy on the 5th divorce. It's like, dude, you're paying a lot of dumb tax.
I've never heard that before. I love it.
Yeah, it's simple, but it's like, okay, I got to learn from my stupid, shitty mistakes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, failure should be like a stepping stone to success.
You hope so, right?
But you need to figure out what you can take from it.
Yeah.
I love that. I'm going to start using that. Dumb tax. That's really good. You've mentioned your son Finn a couple of times, and you and I are mates on social media. I probably spend more time on social media than what you do. But you seem like a real present dad. You seem really good with your time management. So when you're working, you're working. When you got family time, you're having your family time. Was that a turning point for you, becoming a dad?
My God, it was a pivotal point in my life. I was very fortunate as a kid to have a great relationship with my dad and my granddad. And the thought of being a dad, I was like, this is bloody cool. This is a joy, a privilege. And so I made a choice. Like when Finn came along, I resigned and retired from competitive drumming within about 6 to 12 months because I knew what it took to do that at that level. And I don't want to be that dad. I knew many dads who were very competitive drummers, and many of them, a large percentage, were not present with their kids at all. So I really made a decision to go, look, I want to be with Finn. I want him when he's 30 to go, I had a good dad. I don't need to be a great dad. I don't need to be the best dad or the world's best dad. I don't need those titles. But for him to go, nah, he was a good dad. That would be awesome. So I spend a lot of time thinking about that, Dom. Even when I'm traveling, about Finn and, you know, should I say yes to the gig? Should I say no to the gig? Am I willing to sacrifice the thing to make sure I'm present for his important things? His important things are different than mine. And so, yeah, it's a tough balance. And it's never easy. God, as a parent, any parent listening to this will know it's bloody tough when you're trying to earn a crust and do what you got to do and be with your kids and not be distracted by these bloody digital devices. But focus on WMI, what's most important. That's crucial.
Did it force you to grow?
Yeah, exponentially. Yeah. Patience is probably the biggest thing, man. I would say my mum could probably attest this. As a young kid, uneasy, like impatient, like let's go, let's do things, let's read a million things, let's meet people, let's have 55 pen pals, like just constantly moving and on edge. I could never settle. And so when things or people weren't moving at my pace, I get impatient. And I could remember that as a leader, you know, running a drum corps, I was impatient. And being a dad taught me, like, you've got to be patient. If you want love and connection, when they're a teenager, you don't want to rebel, like you've got to have that patience from the start. So for me, it's about constantly using the breath work when I feel like I'm going to be impatient and bringing it back to what does he need from me? You know, what would being a better dad mean? Once a year, I've got a little thing on my calendar, ask Finn what he needs. So I go, Finn, what's one thing that I could do to be a better dad? And I give him once a year because most kids don't ever say to be a better dad, you could do that. And he thinks about it and he often gives me something really valuable. And so how
old is he?
9. Just turned 9.
I think at that age I would have said like, you know, a newer iPad or
those things
more
come
screen time.
That comes up daily, Dom. Yeah. I'm very strict on the old screen time, that's for sure. But things like travel. You know, Dad, I'd really like if you know, around December, January, because he's off for 8 weeks, there was less travel. And when I heard that, I was like, whew. When he's 19, it's too late. He's 9. He told me this when he was 7. I was like, great. So all of December, I don't travel. And right through to the end of January, I don't travel. Because to work, I've got to travel. But I just have to work differently. Because I want him to have, he's a only child. I want him to have the connection with the people in his family, not feel like his dad's on the road. So yeah, it's a balance. It's always just trying to strike that balance.
Because a lot of people would do the travel in December, January, and they'll say, you know, I need to put food on the table, I need to keep the lights on, which is a nice line. But the reality is it's not always entirely true, is it?
No, it's not. People can get addicted to their work, addicted to the drive, the dopamine.
Yeah.
I had a weird situation come up in Cape Town a few years ago. And so Sia Khaleesi, Springboks captain, phenomenal human, him and his then wife had started a charity called the Khaleesi Foundation with the goal of ending gender-based violence in South Africa, which is a huge issue there. And I was sitting down with the foundation in Cape Town, Caroline was there, and they said, look, James, we'd like you to be the MC and host at the Spotify headquarters in London, England, for Sia's new movie. It's going to be released. We're going to do a screening. And we're going to have these special guests. It's right before the Springboks and All Blacks at Twickenham. I'm like, Christ. Like, I'm so excited. Like, the old ego kicked in. Like, my God, that's special. I want to be there. Spotify headquarters. Like, Sia Khaleesi, this is brilliant. And so I says, look, yes, I'll do it in principle. Can I just check my calendar? So feeling really grateful, really excited, head back to really quickly to Cape Town, get the old laptop out, look at my work calendar. This is interesting. The event in London is within 24 hours of Finn's first school production at the town hall in Christchurch. I go, Christ. And I'm like...
FaceTime.
Yeah. Finn, we need to chat, buddy. I was gutted. So I had a little process of sleep on it. I'm sure many of our grandparents have to sleep on it before you make the big decision. And then I've got a really simple quadrant. I call it VPOC, VPOC. Values, priorities, opportunities, and costs. So what are my values? They don't change. What are my priorities in order? They don't change. Okay, if I go to this Khaleesi Foundation event in London, what are the opportunities that'll come from that? What are the costs? And then if I go to Finn's production, opportunities, costs. And it became really apparent. So next morning, I emailed Khaleesi Foundation, say, thank you so much. I'm super excited for this event. However, I can't be there. I've got another commitment and I can't shift it. And they didn't need to know all the details. It just is what it is. And when I was sitting at the town hall, I was like, I'm so grateful I made that decision.
Bullshit.
No, I'm telling you. One of my mates, Axel, said, James, absolute rubbish. I would have went to Spotify. Honestly, mate, it's I did. I felt really grateful. There was no regret, no FOMO. I felt 100% with that decision. It took 24, 48 hours after making the decision to go, God, I still feel a bit crappy. I'm losing out. But by the time the event came around, this is it. It lines with my values, my priorities. James 5 years ago would have been in London for sure. So, yeah.
It's funny, I had Jason Paris, the
great guy.
CEO of One NZ on the podcast. Similar sort of thing. So One NZ did a deal with Elon Musk and Starlink.
That's right.
And he was invited to some function to do with either SpaceX or Starlink. But it clashed with his daughter's prize giving or something. And he turned it down.
I love that. That says a lot because the Starlink thing, or whatever for me, the Spotify headquarters, that could happen again in the future. But the first school production, and Finn doesn't love sport. Finn is into drama, singing, hip-hop dancing. He's awesome at it. That's his passion.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen again, Dom. Like, what kind of dad am I? Going on and do my thing, missing that? I can say no to that.
You can't get the time back, eh? And I think it crystallises as you get older. Like, the time goes so fast.
Yeah.
So fast. It's alarming.
Too quick.
So you, one of your sort of functions is helping people find their purpose. So, like, what's yours now and how has it changed over time?
So I guess when you look at my professional purpose, for me, it's helping great people become the greatest. I really enjoy working with people who are committed, disciplined, excited about the future. They've got goals. They work towards them. I want to help them because not everyone has that. That's a small percentage of people who are really clear on what they want. So I love helping them to close the gap. That's high performers becoming elite performers. So that's my purpose, is to help as many of those people as I can in the corporate world, in the sporting world, friends and family around me. If I can help, I don't have all the answers, but I can ask some damn good questions and they can figure out their own answers. Did you,
you may still even have it to this day from time to time, but did you have like imposter syndrome in the beginning? Like, obviously you'd done some stuff, like you're a 7-time world champion at the drumming thing. But then you're talking to a Sam Whitelock, who's, world's best rugby player, which is, arguably more prestigious. Like, the imposter syndrome thing, did that kick in for you?
Yes, and still have it. I don't think that's ever going to disappear. I think it's a spectrum. And in different parts of my life, I've got it. So, perfect example, Canterbury Rugby approached me through Caroline, actually, and said they were looking for a mental skills coach. And Caroline says, Terry and Marty want to speak to you. I said, what about? She said, about mental skills coach. I don't know much about rugby. Like, I know how the game works, basically. I know Ireland's a pretty awesome team. I know that's not popular in New Zealand. But what would I know? And so I met with them and they says, James, we'd love you to come in. We've seen what you've done with these other people in different fields and individuals. We think you could add some value at Canterbury Rugby. I went, guys, I'm not a rugby expert. They went, great. We don't need another one of those. We've got plenty of them in the building at Rugby Park. We need you to come and do what you do. So the day's coming for my first mental skills session in Rugby Park. I'm shitting myself. And I'm sweating. I mean, I'm even sweating thinking back to how I was feeling going in. So clearly I'm built like an equestrian jockey. So I'm walking into that building. I look different, this tiny little guy. And I'm going, what are these big rugby legends, All Blacks, Crusaders, Canterbury men? What are they going to think of this random little Irish guy? Like, how much value will I have? So massive imposter syndrome. And I said to the coaches, if I go in and this flops, you don't need to keep me the entire season. Sack me instantly. I don't want to be here and waste people's time. So I went in, and as soon as I got there, person at reception, fist pump. Hey, James, great to see you. I'm like, oh, nice to meet you. What's your name? Like, they knew who I was. Going through the gym, I'm like, God, I wouldn't know what a weight was if it hit me in the face. And all the boys are pumping the iron, and they come over, hey, James, lovely to meet you. We've heard lots of great things. And they're all fist pumping. So I'm like, by the time I get to the room where I do my mental skills session, I feel like I'm a bit of part of the family. Like I feel welcome. I feel like I belong. So Canterbury Rugby has this amazing ability to make people feel like they belong very quickly. Fist pump, eye contact. James, lovely to meet you. So by the time I got there, I was much more relaxed. And so my imposter syndrome went from 100% to like 5. And I think every time I step in there, there's still that imposter syndrome. I admire them all so much. Every athlete I work with, every leader, with so much admiration. Coming here today, as I said earlier, of course, like, who am I to sit with Dom Harvey? Like, there's always that. And I think that's healthy. I think when it gets to 100% or 90%, it stays there. That's where it's debilitating. That's where we don't take risks, where we don't get out our comfort zones. So I think it's about just finding techniques to go, I can have imposter syndrome, but it's not going to own me. So certainly I still have it, for sure. It's never going to disappear.
Yeah, it's good to hear. I think everyone, I know everyone has those moments at some points where you just feel like you're a little kid again.
Yeah.
I don't know, you feel like you're out of your depth.
You've probably had someone on the show where you're like, oh my God, they're on my show.
Often, yeah. Often. It's like, what the fuck is going on? I even have a moment during the conversation where I sort of, like, it's almost like an out-of-body experience where it's like, what the fuck? I can't believe I'm sitting here with this person.
Please capture those. I talk to my clients about having a PVJ, your personal victory journal. Have somewhere where you capture those moments, how you felt. Because you'll have a dark day, you'll have a tough day. Go back to your personal victory journal and go, oh, I remember that. I can do this. I can do that. Capture those magic moments, Dom.
Yeah, I am probably guilty of that, like not being in the moment, and not enjoying the journey and just focusing on the destination. But if you have a growth mindset, the destination's always a moving target, isn't it?
They're never ending.
And it can be exhausting.
Yeah.
Are you okay at that? Like just smelling the roses, I guess, along the way?
Something I've struggled with, to be totally honest.
Yeah.
Because, when you look at people who are in sport or they've got career goals, like they're always setting goals out into the future. And that means you're future focused. And so sometimes, like I'll win the world championship. And the next day, I'm like, cool. Who cares? Move on.
Well, you mentioned the golfer before, Scotty Schaffer. He said the same sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like about the amount of time satisfaction he gets after winning a trophy. Minimal.
Very minimal. What I realized I get the satisfaction from is the pursuit. It's like the building towards that. It's that Arthur C. Brooks stuff we talked about earlier. Pursuing something really satisfying. So now I force myself to smell the roses, and I do that through journaling. Like journaling sounds like this real kind of, boring thing. I love journaling. It goes everywhere with me. Planes, trains, automobiles, sits beside my bed. When I'm with clients, it's there. It's in the little bag sitting over there right now. Journaling for me is my way of getting present. What happened today? What didn't go so well? What did I learn? That's the only way I kind of force myself to do it because, Dom, it's not natural for me. I'm constantly in the future.
So this journaling, what does it look like? Is it sort of like bullet points or is it like a full written out diary entry? Or what is it?
So I always, when I look at journaling, struggle to get the rhythm going. I'd do it for a week and then give up. And so I thought I need to get an actual rhythm going. So I'd answer 3 questions at the end of each day. What went well today? What didn't go so well? And what did I learn? So I did that for 6 months. And then I went back and started to see patterns. I'm like, ooh, I'm not learning from that lesson. I'm paying dumb tax there. So like, what's going on? And after about 6 months, I'm like, okay, I'm sick of answering these bloody questions. How about a free flow? So I'll start with gratitude because the neuroscience behind practicing gratitude is phenomenal. So I started practicing gratitude, 4 to 6 things each day I'm grateful for. Then I start writing about the things I'm worried about for the day. What am I worried about? What might go wrong? And then I challenge myself. But have you done that before? Will it really go wrong? What might go right? Look through the possibilities. So my journaling is a lot of that. I do a lot of, I had an experience, I'll not tell you the airline. I was traveling earlier this year and it wasn't a New Zealand airline. And I had a terrible experience on 4 separate flights. I thought something's wrong here. And it's culture. So I got my journal out and I went, okay, what does great culture look like? And like you, I look back at all the great people I've worked with or interviewed and go, I know exactly what separates great from greatness, like greater. And that is these key things. That the journal is a place for me to think, to strategize, I wrote most of my book by journaling and putting all the models that are in my book, calibrating them. The journal is kind of like a coach. It's a free coach. So I would urge everyone to consider it. It costs you nothing.
I mean, you could even, if you really want, just do it in the notes section of your phone.
Yeah.
But gratitude has been a huge thing for me. It's massive.
Tell me about it.
Well, I was reluctant to start doing it because I thought it was I don't know, it was a little bit woo-woo or
Yeah.
something, but it's been the most fantastic thing. You can start like really base level, like I wake up every morning and I lie in bed for a couple of minutes and think about 3 free things that I'm grateful for. So it might be like having my dog next to me. It might be having fresh water to drink behind me, knowing I'm about to have a hot shower. So the base level is really, really low. And then, but when you start thinking about things you're grateful for, you just become more. I'm just grateful for everything, eh? I'm grateful for every opportunity I get every fucking day.
But look at what it's doing. Like, you've got amazing energy. You look physically really healthy. You attract amazing people into your life. Gratitude is the most powerful thing. And again, the neuroscience and quantum physics that's behind it just proves that it works. So keep doing it.
But we all, I mean, most of us have so much to be grateful for that we just let slip us by. Like after this, I'm doing a double podcast day today. We're doing this one very early.
7:30 a.m., let's go.
I've got another one after this with a guy called Mitch Wilson, who's a paracyclist. When he was 17, he had a brain tumour. He had crippling headaches and was vomiting. And it was sort of misdiagnosed, so he could have a lot to be bitter about. By the time it was discovered it was a brain tumour, he got told he was going to lose his eyesight. So at the age of 17, he lost 95% of his eyesight. From what I know about him, he'd go to bed in hospital at night, look at the photo of his family and his friends, and think, "Is this going to be the last time I see them?" At 17.
That's heartbreaking.
It's terrible.
Yeah. Nobody should have to experience that.
Yeah.
What age is he now?
He's like 30 now.
My
30.
God.
So he's rebuilt his life and he's become a paracyclist. So he sits on the back of a bike and there's what's called a pilot at the front that steers it.
What an inspiration.
But can you imagine that? How cruel is that?
I couldn't
losing
imagine
your eyesight
that.
at 17.
Yeah, that's horrific.
So we all have these, back to the gratitude thing, we all have these gifts, like even our eyesight, that can be taken away. And these conversations that I've had have sort of crystallised that for me a little bit. And I'm just so thankful for so much.
The small things
Yeah.
are the big things, is what I'm hearing you say. Like the tiny things, the water that you drink, the people that you get to connect with, the clothes that you get to wear. It's the simple things that are actually the most important things.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So, you've worked with all sorts of people. Like you mentioned the Canterbury rugby team before that you're the mental skills coach for, but there's like $1 billion CEOs, global leaders, all sorts of people like that. What's, if anything, like what's the most surprising insecurity they all share?
Well, look, when I look back at the people I've worked with, fear is a big common trait amongst them all. And it's generally the fear of what other people think or the fear of failure. And so most of these, when you look at them from the outside, highly successful people are often operating from a place of fear and they're miserable inside. And that's why I end up working with them. So it's like, it doesn't, what you see on the outside is kind of like the swan on the lake. Like the swan looks like it's just gliding, it's pedaling like crap underneath, right? So this fear of what other people think drives many of us. And you look at Bronnie Ware's great book. So she wrote The Top Regrets of the Dying. So I read this 4 or 5 years ago, and she's a palliative care nurse. She nursed people in their last few weeks of life. But she always asked them one question. What do you regret in your life? And she wrote it down in a journal. So she came up with thousands of entries. The number one regret of the dying, Dom, I regret living my life, making decisions based upon what I thought other people thought of me. I'm so regretful of that. I thought, Christ, that pretty much sums it up for most of us. So these people that I'm working with that you would look at and go, like, I want to be like that performer or whatever, most of them don't have the joy or fulfillment you might think because they're so worried about what other people think. I had an athlete who would be a household name in New Zealand come to me Tuesday morning in tears. So what's up, dude? He says, did you read the comment? I'm like, what comment? He says, did you not read the comment on the Instagram post? I was like, what comment? What Instagram post? He went, it was about the game on the weekend. Did you not? I was like, no, I don't read those things. He says, did you not see what they wrote about me? I was like, how many comments were there? Oh, there was about 1,050. I was like, I didn't see that comment. He went, well, I'm gutted and I can't sleep. And I said, what did he say? He says, I'm crap and I'm a has-been. I was like, oh. And why do you have any feeling about that comment? Well, it's like, it's really upset me. I was like, is it because you are a has-been? You know, are you crap? He went, well, I don't think so. I said, did you get selected to play? Yeah. Okay. So you're pretty damn good then, aren't you? Yeah. I said, why do you read that damn crap? I don't know. I just end up there and I look at it, and because we all fear what people think.
Yeah.
You know?
Do you know the person? Is it your mum or dad? Is it someone that's got your best interest at heart?
Yeah.
Or is it just some random?
Yeah. But most of us are doing that. We buy cars. So I said to people in an audience, I'm talking, for those that drive the Range Rover, the Ferrari, the Porsche, I dearly hope that you're driving it because you love it. You love the feel of it, how it moves. If you've bought that car because you want to fit in with your mates, fit in your neighborhood, you want to prove someone wrong, sell the car today. And one guy came up a week later who was at an event in Christchurch, says, James, I sold my Range Rover and I bought a Volkswagen Golf, which I think are great little cars. I says, why? He says, because I was literally trying to fit in with everyone at work. That's really sad. People buy clothes, go to university, make decisions on work, make decisions on relationships based on what will they think about this. Cut that crap out. And it's taken me years to figure that out. Only in the last half a decade have I started really not caring what people's judgments are. I care what people think to a certain degree. You know, I care about people. But I couldn't give a damn what people are judging. The T-shirt I'm wearing, the shoes I'm wearing, the car I drive. I don't care. There's more to life.
Yeah, and also another thing, you realise humans are by nature quite self-conscious, so people aren't thinking about you as much as what you would like to think they are. They're thinking about themselves.
100%. Ram syndrome, right? You and I've got it. World revolves around me. Every day, Ram syndrome. We've all got it. What am I doing? What's in it for me today? We've all got that. They don't care about you and me.
Not really, nah. Yeah, there's a quote I really liked that stuck with me. It's like, other people's opinion is none of my business.
That's brilliant.
I really like that. I'm finally at a point now, I'm a very slow learner, even slower than you, where I can avoid reading the comments. If there's a post and I think there's going to be comments that are going to upset me or ruin my day, why would I expose myself to that?
That's a choice. When you choose to engage in those comments and read them, that's a choice.
Yeah.
And I always say, the thing you're about to do, is it going to be useful or unuseful? Will it be useful for how you feel emotionally? Great, do it. If it's going to be unuseful, why do it? Don't engage in it and then self-pity, self-loathe, and want attention. Just make the decisions that are useful.
It's troubling for kids though, eh? How old's Finn now?
9.
Yeah, so he's getting into that, a few years away from that sort of puberty, teenage years. I can't imagine how difficult it is at that age.
Yeah, I think you're constantly comparing that comparison with others. The one thing that I can control, and his mum and his bonus mum agree, we're going to keep a phone and social media out of his hands for as long as possible. Whether people love or loathe Christopher Luxon and his government, banning phones in schools, high five. Let's get the social media and ban it up until the age of 16. Our kids don't need to be exposed to that crap. The technology rewires their brains. The statistics on suicide, teen suicide particular, is going through the roof. Social media does not help. So that's the one thing with Finn where I'm going to support him by not giving him access. And he's already asking, he's 9. Some of his mates have phones. What the hell does a 9-year-old need a phone for? And the iPad, he gets it when we travel. That's it. He doesn't need an iPad at home. There's books. Read a book, man. So I like to keep it simple. He's going to have challenges as it is. We all do.
Yeah, it's hard though, especially when he starts pulling out lines like, "Oh, Dad, I'm the only one."
Totally. You're a crap dad. Sort it out, Dad. Get me a phone. I'll get him a brick. Dom, I'll say you've got a phone, but there's no internet.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It started out with kids having them for emergency situations. How many emergency situations are there? Come on.
Once in a blue moon, maybe.
Yeah. In your opinion or experience, what's the difference between being a boss and being a leader?
Ooh, good. So, a boss, it's us and them. Bosses would talk about their workers. And I chat with people and they go, "Oh, the workers." I go, "Hold up. Who?" "The workers." I say, Is that what they are? They're your workers. And sometimes they'll point down when they say, the workers. They don't even know they're doing it. A boss will always be looking at what's best for the boss. The boss will always want to be seen a certain way. I don't think it's a healthy trait to want to be a boss. I think a leader, and a good leader, there's all different types of leaders, but a high-performance leader is one who serves, who talks about their people. They say us a lot, and they say, when there's mistakes, they say I or me. You know, that when things are going well, it's us. We did this and the team did that. When the proverbial hits the fan, they go, I take responsibility for that. I did that. I will sort that out. They don't push it on. Leadership's a choice. Everyone can lead. But Dom, it starts with you. Like, you can't lead others unless you lead yourself. And so telling others to do something that you're not doing, well, God, you're not walking the walk. Again, whether people love him or loathe him, Greg Foran, our New Zealand CEO, Saturday morning, loading the luggage. That's leadership, right? If he's doing that because it's like, I want to be with my team, great. If he's doing it to tick the media box, maybe not so good. But if he's doing that right from here, that is leadership. Nothing is beneath a leader. They'll scrub the floors.
Well, he's indicated he's going to resign, Greg Foran, but you still see him on domestic flights, like handing out the boiled sweets at the end of the flights or pouring the coffees. And it's not. It's not. I don't think it's tokenism because he's done it a lot, and it doesn't always get. People don't always film it or put it on social media.
Yeah, well, he served me a cup of tea, and I wasn't going to ask for a selfie. You know, it's like, it's pretty cool, and I think that's what leadership is. It's doing the things that bosses think that they're above. You know, the new person, rather than them go and get the coffees, why don't you go get the coffees and take them for a walk and talk about what's interesting to them, what they see? You know, leadership's a choice. Everything rises and falls on leadership. We can see that with countries. You know, certain countries are rising or falling based on leadership. It's the same as your podcast. It's the same as a family, the community, our country. If things aren't going well, just look to the top. It all rises and falls on leadership.
Yeah. One thing you do with your clients is you help them get crystal clear on what their why is. For anyone that's listening to this or watching this who feels stuck or lost, where should they start? What's the first question?
Yeah, great. So if people are going, I don't know what my why is, you could read Simon Sinek's great book, Start With Why, but that doesn't tell you what your why is. It just explains really his thinking around purpose. Easy questions. What makes me cry? If you're like, I don't cry. What gets under my skin? Not much. What makes me angry? What keeps me up at night? What do I hate being seen being done to others? What irks me? Who do I deeply care about? Those are questions I would challenge everyone to get clear on, because that will help them make decisions based on why, rather than how much am I going to earn, where am I headed. Like you're doing more purpose-driven work. Do work that matters, right? High performers always look at their work and go, this matters. That's just a core human need, Dom. We need to feel like we have a sense of significance. Not ego, but does the work I do actually matter? You know, I was chatting at a large Australasian bank, CEO, COO, bunch of leaders in the room, and I say, what's the vision for this company? Where are you guys headed? Nobody could answer the question. So I asked it again in case my Irish accent, they didn't understand what I said. Where is this company headed? Nobody could answer. So I go over at lunch, hang out with a bunch of the senior leaders, 20 plus year tenure, 3 of them quietly looking for jobs in other companies. I said, why? Why? James, I don't know why we do what we do here. We have no vision and there's no reason, no purpose with what we do. 6 months later, they're all gone. So but people look at retention, culture, happiness. Doing what matters is most important. Don't do what's exciting or easy. Do what matters most. And ask those questions. What keeps me up at night? What makes me cry? What makes me angry? You know, for a lot of people, there is a lot of anger in the world right now. You and I are very positive and we choose optimism. But you look out into the world, there's a ton of anger. And we've got to find ways to help people find and tap in to purpose. Because when people are purpose-driven, they don't have time for anger.
Yeah. Yeah, I found, from a personal perspective, I find that the better my mental headspace is, the less angry I am about things as well. I get frustrated and annoyed by even like little things happening around me if my mental health isn't where it should be. There's plenty to be angry about if you want to be, eh? Yeah, just go on social media. You'll find things within a couple of minutes that you can be outraged by. 100%.
Where your focus goes, your energy flows. So if your focus goes to negative stuff, all of your energy goes there. You know, it's the same in any field. If your focus goes to the opposition, it goes to the TMO, all your energy goes there. You can't control anything. Is that useful or unuseful? Always a question to ask. Where my focus is going, is that useful focus? You know, focusing on social media, focusing on what you don't have, I don't think it's very useful. Focus on what you do want. Focus on where you are headed.
You've mentioned a couple of books in this podcast. Besides your own, what are like a bunch of books that you absolutely swear by?
Yeah, great. So, The Wealth Money Can't Buy by Robin Sharma. Phenomenal book. It's his most recent book. You know, Robin sold 20, 30 million copies of his books over his lifetime. Deep thinker. Wealth Money Can't Buy. If you're chasing the big goals, I love you, but don't chase them just for the success. Buy that book, The Wealth Money Can't Buy. Secondly, The Alchemist. I always have copies of Paulo Coelho's The Alchemist. It's a great fable about purpose. I gift it to so many people. I just think it's one of the books we all got to have. Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl.
Yeah, incredible book.
Incredible. I had never heard of it until the Christchurch earthquakes. And I thought, I'm self-pity, self-loathing, drinking way too much alcohol. What can I do? Read Viktor Frankl's book. Wow, what a book. Anything else come to mind? Jocko Willink, as you mentioned, Extreme Ownership is a great book. At one point, I loved David Goggins' Can't Hurt Me. Yeah. And then, I look at it differently now. I think there's another way to achieve your goals without being a masochist.
Yeah, he's just obsessed with misery.
Yes, and he uses the MF word way too much for my liking.
I like Goggins though. But it's,
I do too.
So it doesn't seem like an existence that has any joy in it.
Do you know it's a great book? And Kiwi audience, some of them will go, I'm not going to get that, but others will go, yes, I'll get it. It's a John Key's book, and it was written by John Rowan. Bloody brilliant book.
Really?
You know, really good. Yeah, because I don't think everyone knows John's story. They all know his position. They all know some of the funny things he did, some of the serious things he did, but they don't know John. And you've had John on the show, I've had John on the show. He's a good man, and he's got a great story. And I think that book taught me a lot about the human behind the persona. And about goal setting, about self-belief, about determination, all the things you see in my book. Like I look at what John has done, and again, love him or loathe him, he does all those things. Radically clear on what he wants, supercharged his BS, led with purpose, his version of what purpose looked like. So that's another one I would suggest all Kiwis get.
Yeah, what do you know about tall poppy syndrome? Is it a thing in Ireland, or is it something that it is?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, that just comes to mind because you mentioned John Key, and we did touch upon before the relationship that some people have with wealth. I feel like in New Zealand there's almost a negative stigma in some circles about being rich.
Northern Ireland's the same.
Really?
Yeah, I had a family member who was driving. And they seen in person, it was a Porsche Ferrari, I can't remember, I was only 7 or 8 at the time. And they took over or cut them off or something. And the family member kind of flipped them the finger and said, they're making up for something with that car. And kind of alluding to something. And
small dick.
Yeah, thanks Dom, thanks for making it obvious, there we go. Trust Dom just to call out this. I love that. And never trust a person who drives a car like that. They've done something to get that money. And so I definitely think Northern Ireland and New Zealand have a lot in common around people who are highly successful. And that comes down to kind of let them think what they want, you know. You've got to. Tall poppy syndrome is always going to be a thing in this country. Get on with it. You know, don't let it stop you dreaming and striving and doing. Do the work and get on with it anyway.
Yeah, you got to live your life for you. 100 years from now, none of this is going to matter. No one's going to remember me. No one's going to remember you.
Nope.
If you're lucky, 100 years from now, maybe there'll be some great-grandchildren that have a vague memory of you, but that's going to be it. That's it. It's going to matter.
You could take such bigger risks and bigger swings in life thinking like that. It doesn't actually matter.
Yeah.
You could fail everything, put everything on the line today and rebuild the whole thing. You've got the skills to do it. You didn't win the lotto. If you win the lotto and lose the money, you don't know how to do that again. You've built a business, built a brand. You could lose the Dom Harvey podcast today, touch wood, it doesn't happen. And you could rebuild it in 12 months guaranteed. You just know how to do it. So get on with it, yeah.
The people you work with, the high performers, how do they bounce back from failure or setback?
All different.
Yeah.
Everyone's different.
Is there any common sort of mindset or not really?
Yeah, so there's this idea of like, particularly in rugby, we talk about dealing in reality. Like, the thing happened. The ref made the call. The TMO did the thing. You got the red card. That's the reality. Get on with it. So I feel like the people who bounce back quicker control their controllables. What can I control? You know, they get a circle. Right in that circle, what can I control? And if they're moving on the field or they're in their place of work and they can't draw a circle, they can do it in their mind. What can I control right now? My breath, my mental focus, how I respond to this challenge. There's actually a very small number of things we need to control to feel like we have some sense of certainty. So the people who do bounce back and have resilience, they're not afraid of failing. They push themselves. They go and do uncomfortable things. And they just keep going back to what are the controllables? Let's control them. What about you? When you've had, what's been something in the last couple of years that you have felt was a big failure or a scary moment and you've bounced back? What helped you?
Probably just knowing that you have to keep showing up. Like the guaranteed way to fail for me is to stop. If you keep going, then there's a chance that you're going to succeed. And also just knowing that the sun's going to rise every day and you can choose to be there with it or not. But yeah, you just have to keep on going, don't you?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, and it fucking sucks. Failure fucking sucks. It's not enjoyable at all. But usually you look back with hindsight, and sometimes it takes a long time to get that hindsight, but you realise something good came out of it.
100%. It's interesting when you talk about that, it sucks. In the moment, it does. And I think this toxic positivity thing, like, when something really shitty happens, it's shitty. It's not nice. It's not, oh, it's fine. It's shit. Someone dies, that's terrible. Someone gets dealt a really bad blow with their health, there's nothing positive about that, right? It is. I was chatting with a client in Antarctica recently, so they're running the Scott base. And as you would expect with 12 people living in a base, they're all going to have a lot of fun, but there's going to be friction and challenges with anything. So we talked about, with some of the small things that do crop up when humans live together, how do we deal with things? So I talk about the 10-10-10 principle. And so something happens, it's pissed you off, you're angry, you're upset. 10 minutes from now, how might you feel? Oh, you might be still a bit pissed off, but a lot less. Okay, 10 months from now, looking back on this, how will you feel? You'll shrug your shoulders, laugh, it didn't matter. Okay, bear with me. 10 years from now, someone putting the spoon in the wrong drawer, how are you going to feel about that? It's laughable, right? So I always try that with myself. If someone has really got me going, 10-10-10. 10 minutes, I'll still be a bit pissed. 10 months, I won't give a damn. 10 years, who cares? Right, mate, I'm carrying on. I don't care what you've just done. It helps. It doesn't excuse abuse, but there's no excuse for that. But it certainly helps with the small stuff that pisses us off.
Yeah, even things that can seem life-changing that you think you never bounce back from 10 years from now, like, it'll just be like a speed bump.
100%.
That's it.
The marriage failure, 10 years on, it's literally a little moment in your life that you hopefully learned a lot from. At the time, Jesus, it's everything. It's all-encompassing. It's depressing. I get it.
Yeah. I've had Mike King on the podcast very early on, and he talked about a thing called the inner critic or the inner voice. What's yours like?
I call him Leprechaun Loughlin. He's He's a little shit, Dom. So I look at this. We've all got two selves. It's actually the first exercise I do with any client. What's your best self? What's your worst self? Let's do it with you, Dom, to start with. So if you think of your best self, when you're at your best, you're your happiest. How do you walk? How do you talk? What are your thoughts like? How do you treat others? Take me through, describe all those things.
Yeah, positive, kind, not bothered or fazed by anything else. I'm just, in my own zone.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I'm the best version of myself.
And what's your posture like? Would you be standing upright and broad chest?
Yes.
And breathing, would it be shallow or nice and full?
Yeah, it's good.
Good. And
it's good. It happens effortlessly too.
Okay, great. So you're in flow. It's effortlessly. Brilliant. Who would you call that version of yourself? You had to give them a wee nickname, a superhero name or some kind of name. What would it be?
Dom the Bomb.
There we go. Dom the Bomb.
I'm editing this out.
Hell no, you're not. I love it. Okay, let's go to the other side.
By the way, I don't actually do this. You asked me to come up with a name.
I'd love it. So, worst self. So, when you're being critical to others, you're not your best self. You're not thinking in a positive way. Describe that.
Yeah. It's just an unhealthy space to be playing, and you fixate on what your competitors, real or perceived, are doing. You're just looking over your shoulder. I don't know, negative, bitchy.
And
nasty.
if you do that for too long, already your body language, you're leaning over and you're doing this. So your body language changed from free and flowing. Right away, your physiology, your hormones have changed like that because you're thinking about that version.
It's not helpful, is it?
It's not. Who's that? So mine's Leprechaun Loughlin. Who's yours?
Maybe Dom the Dick.
I love it. Dom the Bomb and Dom the Dick. Great. Now, that exercise seems silly, right?
Yeah.
But actually, it's really important because at every moment of every day, those two selves are at play. So internally, you've got those two things happening. And it's up to you which one you decide to feed. You've got two wolves in there. You've got a good wolf and a bad wolf. Which one's going to win?
The one that you feed.
There you go. So it comes down to Dom the Bomb. Let's feed him. Let's react from Dom the Bomb. Dom the Dick, he's not going to respond in a powerful, empowering way. So that's something I think we all need to get clear on, that inner critic, that inner voice.
And you think it's sort of about the sort of people that you want to be around, the sort of people that energize you and make you feel good. And is it someone that's bitchy or being a dick? Never. Never. You don't want to be around those people.
100%. And you've got to protect your space, right? You've got to protect your energy. Get around good people who have high energy, positive thoughts, will big up your ideas, celebrate your successes. You don't want to be around people who are being the tall poppy.
No, they will drain your battery so quickly.
100%.
How are you with vulnerability? Like, you got a good inner circle of friends that you can talk to about everything that's going on? Or do you sort of process things alone?
I do a lot. I would say solitude is a big thing in my life. I meditate a lot and I journal a lot. So I would say I'm a relatively, maybe I don't know if deep thinker is the right word, but I think a lot. I had a massive social circle through my teens, 20s. And interestingly, divorce time, it's interesting how my circle kind of maybe cut in half. Almost maybe one social circle goes with that partner and one goes with that partner. I don't know. But
your perceived sides, maybe.
Yeah, totally, maybe.
Yeah.
But from that point onwards, I started going, who do I want around me? Do I want 100 people at my funeral that I kind of got on well with? Or do I want like 15 who I loved and they actually knew me? So I've got, on my one hand, I could count my close friends, people who understand my struggles, my challenges. And I like that. I like a tight circle. I can trust them. And I'm not struggling to keep up with the social, like I can't make it to this. And it works for me. Some people need and feed off a lot. The one thing I guess when people look at you or me, they see you're on a show or you're on a stage, you're an extrovert. I'm not. I'm not an extrovert. I'm very much an introvert. So I need to recharge. So I'll spend time during the week with thousands of people. And then I'll go back to Littleton, go through the tunnel. There's 3,000 people living in that little town. I'll go into my house, I'll sit down, I'll meditate. I might go down to the market, grab something on Saturday morning, come back up. Might go and walk the dogs, come back up. I'm not very social. That's the opposite of what I was when I was a kid. So I think that certainly for me, my personality has changed through life and earthquakes and trials and tribulations. And I've just adjusted my lifestyle to suit that. So I don't have a big, massive friend base. I keep it tight.
I think part of that comes with aging as well, eh? Your circle gets smaller, but in the most beautiful way imaginable.
Yeah.
God, in my 20s, I had so many friends. Didn't know many of their last names.
Yeah.
Actually, some of them I didn't even know their actual names. You know them by nickname only, but you'd consider them really fucking good friends.
And you knew their drink order, I guarantee.
Yeah, 100%. But I love that about getting older.
Yeah,
just
I do
the
too.
high-value friendships.
Yeah, I do too.
What would you say your best and worst habits are? One of your best must be the discipline aspect, right?
Yeah, so with that comes this is my best and my worst, I think, time. So to be disciplined, you've got to respect time and value time. I'm a bit of a time fanatic, obsessive with time. There is absolutely zero mission, Dom, that I would have been late today. That would have sent me into overdrive. I'd have been freaking out internally. So it's a real positive thing. Sitting down to write a book, I had to dedicate 2 hours a day for a couple of months every morning, go and do it. That's a strength. However, Caroline, Finn, come on, it's 1 minute to 3. I said, wheels rolling at 3. We got to be there at 3:20. I don't want to be late. They invited us. And I start to get all flustered. That's not nice to be around, Dom. That's Leprechaun Loughlin. You know what I mean?
Yeah, is it going to matter in 10 minutes, 10 months, 10 years?
Absolutely not. So that's my best habit and my worst habit, and I'm really aware of it, and I'm trying to work on it. And Caroline can be the only one, and maybe Finn, that can confirm this. I think I'm getting better. Caroline actually gave me a little compliment last week. She says, James, we're running late, and you haven't said anything. Oh, didn't even notice. So that's definitely just time awareness.
It's funny you should say that. I know you've had him on your podcast as well, and it was a great episode. And I've had Sir Steve Hansen on my podcast recently, and he said that. He said a person's greatest strength is usually their greatest weakness.
100%. When you look at it psychologically, so Clifton Strengths, or even another one that's free that your listeners could go to, is VIA, character strength. They just Google that. It's amazing. My number one, I think, with Clifton was harmony. And so just, creating harmony and getting on with people. And I thought, that's awesome. What a great strength. And then the coach said, James, that's also your greatest weakness. I was like, what do you mean? He says, you won't call people out on bullshit. You won't call people out if they've hurt you. You won't call things out if it just, it's not quite right. You'll just, okay, cool. And you'll work around things. He says, at home, it'll be a disaster. He says, you're divorced, aren't you? I went, yep. He says, they're case in point. He says, you won't call things out as you see them. You'd rather just everyone be happy. And so, yeah, your greatest strength is always your greatest weakness.
Actually, that's probably mine, just being a people pleaser. You want to make people feel good, but because of as a result of that, you often prolong or procrastinate when it comes to difficult conversations.
What are you going to do about that?
I just bury my head in the sand.
Dom the dick coming out.
It's a work on.
Oh, good man. I think we're all working on that stuff.
When was the last time you cried? I found personally, since I've been into gratitude, I'm far more emotional.
I cried. Last time I cried was on a plane coming home from Los Angeles, and unfortunately, the plane had Wi-Fi, and I got a text to say Stu has died. What the hell? No way. Stu was a mentor, a friend, a genius, and I found out he'd killed himself. I thought, this just can't be right. This is not right. He's got kids and he's got a successful life and he's world renowned at what he does. This is not right. I don't believe this. And then it started to be reinforced. And so that was the last time. And Dom, 3 days later, I cried again. So my former wife, Lisa, who still works at the school I worked at, calls me. She says, are you driving? Yeah. Can you pull over? Yeah. She said, do you remember Connor? I was like, of course. I taught him for years. What a great kid. 18. Just killed himself. I'm got, goosebumps now just thinking about it. And strength is not holding tears in, not crying. I'm getting teary-eyed just thinking about that. Those two brilliant men, both relatively young men. One was 18, one was 50. That's just, I can't figure it out, Don. I've tried to figure it out for a long time. That's why I first reached out to John Key. Was why are people in our country, particularly teenagers, killing themselves? Just doesn't make sense. So, that was the last time I cried.
Yeah. How close are you to being the best version of yourself?
Miles away.
Really?
Not even close.
Just constantly a moving target.
I will never be satisfied. I would say I'm content. In terms of, I like my life. I like getting up in the morning. I love the people around me. I love doing what I do. But I'm never satisfied. Contentment and satisfaction, two different things. So I'm not the best version of myself. I've got lots of flaws. I've got lots of work to do. I've got lots of goals I'm pursuing. And I like that. It gives me the purpose and the drive. I don't think even as a drummer, I was always, I might have won the world championships yesterday, but that could have been better. That could have been better. Just always looking for what we can improve.
With that in mind, are you proud of yourself?
I struggle with that. Caroline's had this chat with me. I struggle to say I'm proud. Don't know why. I don't know why. I just can't connect with that. I love it when someone I love says, "I'm proud of you, James." My mum said it recently, and I was like, "God, that felt so beautiful." And it wasn't this ego thing. I was like, "Oh, cool, my mum's proud of me. That's awesome." It really meant a lot. I've never got to a point where I'm like, "I'm so proud." And I've had magic moments. I've hit goals that I've wanted to hit, and I've been excited about them. but I've never felt that. Don't know what that is. Maybe that's a work on for me to explore.
It's funny, hey? It's yeah. I mean, you're not a New Zealander, like you're from Ireland, but it's something Kiwis struggle to answer a lot of the time, in particular Kiwi males. Maybe it's an Irish thing as well.
I think Kiwis and Irish people are just so similar. Yeah, we talk a bit about different
Commonwealth thing.
Yeah, could be. Yeah, we were, it could be that. But yeah, I struggle with that. I'd say many of the men in my life would struggle to also say that.
Why? Because it seems boastful, or
maybe it's that. It's either that or I'm just like constantly moving, where I'm not slowing down to smell the roses, as you said earlier.
Yeah.
Maybe it's that. I need to explore that. That's something that will turn up in my journal tonight at 9 p.m. as I'm about to go to bed. That's a question I've never been asked.
Well, it's something to think about. Like, you've done a lot of cool stuff. Now you've got this book out. You've helped change a lot of people's lives for the better. What's there not to be proud of?
Thanks, man. That means a lot.
Yeah.
That really does.
Hey, this has been really enjoyable, finally connecting.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure from my end.
By the way, you said something before about you being late this morning would have been the worst thing imaginable. So it's a 7:30 a.m. podcast. It's worth highlighting. You messaged me maybe yesterday or the day before saying, so do you want me there at 7:30 or should I be there at 7:10, 7:15, 7:20?
Yes, I did. Now you're seeing it all play out, right?
Yeah.
It makes sense.
But no, I appreciated that. It was cool.
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 I've loved this. This is like, I've followed you for years. I've deeply loved the way you question, the way you get curious, your humility. Like, you're the best in the business and you're deeply humble. And Dom, what we're excited about as a team, actually, we're going to have you down to Christchurch this year to the town hall for our high performance leadership event. So the crowd are going to bloody love you.
It would be an honour. Well, James Laughlin, with his new book, Habits of High Performers, which I'm going to love reading. And as I said at the beginning, I got sent a PDF copy from your publishers. But when this book comes out, I don't want you to send me a copy. I want to buy a copy.
That's beautiful. Thank you for the support. It means a lot.
I've written books before, so I know you only get like 15 free copies.
You know how it works.
Send them home to Ireland. I'll buy one.
Thank you so much, my man.
You're a good man.
I deeply appreciate you.
Thanks, James.
Thank you.